Hi, this is Sylvia Saber with OpTv Global headlines. Starting with the national updates. The most used search engine in the world, Google, has launched an international appeal to collect flood relief funds for Pakistan. Google is asking its billions of users across the globe to donate $15, $25, and $50 each. The Austrian Foreign Ministry has also announced €2 million in emergency support for the flood victims. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif spoke to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to thank him for aid sent by Turkey. Sharif sought assistance from Turkey in overcoming the flood shortage and also sought help on reconstruction work in the flood-hit areas. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan has indirectly proposed a brief extension in the tenure of incumbent Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa. Imran said he is ready for holding talks with the coalition government if they accept his demand for the early polls. Balochistan continues to be devastated by unprecedented rainfall coupled with massive flooding. 8 more people have lost their lives in the province, bringing the overall death toll to 278. The recent flash floods have damaged an estimated 8.3 million acres of crops in Pakistan, over 3.4 million acres of crop being affected in Sindh alone. Officials estimated the burden of these crop losses will amount to $1.5 billion. Pakistan has reported the 18th polio case from North Waziristan. National Institute of Health has declared the south and northern districts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province sensitive. Minister for Climate Change Senator Sherry Rahman has indicated at least a 50% surge in the cases of dengue fever in the country, especially in Karachi. Sherry Rahman quoted that government is expediting efforts to provide medicines and medics to the 81 calamity-hit districts. The government has allocated 45 million rupees to provide scholarships to minority community students for the financial year 2022-23. The Ministry of Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony has sought applications from eligible students from primary to university level, particularly those who were enrolled in government educational institutions. Up next, we have the international updates. United States' largest fundraising dinner for flood victims of Pakistan has been hosted by Alliance for Disaster Easter Recep in Houston. $1 million were collected in 3 hours. Senior government officials, including Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, Congress members Sheila Jackson Lee, Ellie Green, and Consul General Houston Ibrar Hashmi also gave generous donations. Saudi Arabia launched a national campaign to collect donations to help the flood victims of Pakistan. Pakistan's ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Amir Khurram Rathore, thanked the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman, and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the kingdom's humanitarian initiative. King Charles III has led a somber procession carrying Queen Elizabeth II's body through Edinburgh streets. Thousands of people lined the route to watch as the procession made its way to the 12th century St. Giles Cathedral. Cannon fired at 1-minute intervals from Edinburgh Castle. United States President Joe Biden issued an executive order boosting the U.S. biotech sector and cancer fight and moonshot initiative. Biden is pushing for government-backed efforts to coordinate and fund a multi-layered fight against cancer with the goal of halving cancer death rates in the next 25 years. An Indian court has agreed to hear a petition by a group of Hindu women for the right to worship in a mosque. The Hindu group believe that the site is a Hindu temple, rejecting a Muslim plea to throw out the petition. Iran has reaffirmed its readiness to cooperate with the UN nuclear watchdog. The announcement made after the International Atomic Energy Agency said it cannot assure the peaceful nature of Tehran's nuclear program. Israeli Defense Minister claimed that Iran has used more than 10 military facilities in Syria to produce advanced missiles and weapons for its proxies. Benny Gantz also added that Iran was working on building missile and weapons industries in Lebanon and Yemen. Ukrainian forces had recaptured 6,000 square kilometers of territory from Russia in a counteroffensive this month, claims Ukrainian president. The territorial shifts marked one of Russia's biggest reversals since its troops were turned back from Kyiv in nearly 7 months of fighting. The death toll from major earthquake in western China has risen to 93. The search for survivors and recovery of bodies were complicated by heavy rains and risks of landslides. A magnitude 6.8 quake hit Chuan province last week. The number of people forced into modern forms of slavery has risen to around 50 million. The UN International Labour Organization said more than half of those had been forced to work against their will and others forced into marriage, the report said. Up next, we have the business updates. The Pakistani rupee maintained its losing streak against the US dollar. The local unit closed at 229.82 after losing 1.64 against the US dollar in the interbank market. Floods have destroyed the cotton crop in a fairly large area. The current estimates of cotton losses are 3.5 million bales, which are 36% of the crop. Pakistani textile millers have started approaching international suppliers to source cotton to maintain the export momentum. Up next, we have the sports updates. All matches in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales are postponed last weekend as a mark of respect over the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Liverpool's match with Chelsea and Manchester United's clash with Leeds have also been postponed. Pakistani young squash player Huzaifa Ibrahim stood atop in the under-19 singles of the Frank Millet Junior Squash Championships held in USA. Huzaifa defeated the Sri Lankan-born American opponent Rishi Srivastav in the final to clinch the title. Pakistani teenage tennis star Hania Minhas claimed girls singles, doubles and mixed doubles titles in the 12 and below division at the Little Mo International Tournament held in New York. The Little Mo tournament features rising tennis stars between the age of 18 to 12 and play a crucial role in grooming their abilities. Up next, we have the entertainment updates. Turkish actor Celal Al, who plays Abdurrahman Alp in The Realist, Ertugrul leads flood charity drive in Pakistan's largest metropolis, Karachi. Celal Al also urged his followers to donate to flood victims around Pakistan via Turkish Red Crescent by texting Pakistan to 2868. Singer-turned-actor Ali Zafar does not want to collaborate with Bollywood's King Khan anytime soon. Rather, Ali Zafar suggested Shah Rukh Khan to not work with him to avoid political tensions between Pakistan and India. HBO family business drama Succession won the Emmy for Best Drama Series. Ted Lasso scooped the Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series at a star-studded award ceremony in Los Angeles. Lee Jung-jae of Squid Game became the first actor to win the Best Drama Series Actor Emmy. Up next, we have the health updates. Amgen's Lumakras pill reduced the risk of disease progression in patients with advanced lung cancer by 34% compared with chemotherapy. There is no significant difference in overall survival between the two treatments in the confirmatory study. Amgen said the trial was not designed to detect a survival difference. Up next, we have the updates on science and technology. NASA again postponed its uncrewed Artemis 1 mission to the moon. NASA now targeting September 27th as the earliest possible launch date for Artemis 1 mission. The mission hopes to test the Space Launch System rocket as well as the unmanned Orion capsule that sits atop it.